If you like to talk to your clients, if a donation can make you smile, if you like to shop with the clients, up and down the boutique aisle.
Have we got a form for you?
First-time client or pregnancy test, Life Matters classes, we've got a form. Boutique only, donations, ultrasound, we've got a form. If something happens that you should report, of course you know, we've got a form. There's really a form for that. There's really a form for that. We've got a form for that.
So we are going to train on forms today. So the very first one is volunteer sign-in. This is very important. This gives us information that we put in our database called eKairos. So when you sign in every day, you're going to put a code, and your code is going to correspond with who you are. A receptionist is an R, consultant is a C, and so on. And you want to make sure that you put your time out also, and you total your time. If you are a consultant, you're the only one that needs to do number of clients seen, number of walk-ins seen, number of clients that did not show. This information is very important because we're capturing it and putting it in our database, eKairos. And that is important for our donor cards every month that go out every month to our donors, that type of thing. It's just easier to get that information from these forms into our system. Okay. Next is, we'll do the yellow form. This is our Life Matters program. This is for every client that is seen every time, whether it's a virtual appointment, whether it's a regular appointment. This one we just recently revamped, so it's a very simplified. Yes. The big thing I want to talk about is the back part, and all of the Bright Course
lessons, all the videos that you do there, you can put them all on here.
So then when you show a video or you send a video for a virtual, you're going to mark which one you did, and you can even write in here which one you showed. So these are the basic categories.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you go to the concept shared if you've talked anything about those, and then referrals and consultant notes. Consultant notes, you just want to be careful. You do want to try to put as much information as you want to remember, but also keep in mind that you don't want to do too detailed. You want to think about, could this be presented in a court of law? For instance, if you wrote, the mom and dad were fighting in front of their child or something, that you just want to be careful if that is used against them. So you have to be careful about your consultant notes.
You don't want your opinion in there ever. It needs to be very simple. It really needs to be as little as possible. I understand that some of you like to try and remember from week to week, but you really need to be very careful, because we do have instances where clients have to go to court and they require copies of their file. So keep that in mind when you're taking your notes.
Then the last question is, did you pray with your client? This is very important for us. You can say yes here, but also please mark it in the concept shared, because there is a part in eKairos where we can mark that, and then that also gives us that information, because our donors want to know that we're sharing the gospel with every client. So that is something very important for us to capture from these. If a client comes in and they have had a virtual appointment, they can come into the Center for just boutique services, and that is the orange form. Also, emergency, if people need emergency supplies. And how often can they get emergency supplies?
I think twice a year.
So we need to be aware of that too. So if they come in for emergency or to get their supplies from their Life Matters program, it is the orange form. So if someone came in because they had a virtual, you want to pull their file and they need to sign each form that they had a virtual visit from, and that shows how many boutique bucks they get, and that also tells us that they received those. And then the boutique form will show what they received. And then we also added a line that says, what topic would you like to receive more information on? And then if you sent them a video. So that one is very simplified also. Okay, so the next form is the green intake. This is a new intake. This is a pregnancy test. This one has been revamped completely. So you, and I should also mention, they all now have the notice of privacy practices, the pregnancy, the STI, and the green intake. So they all have to read the, is it NIFLA?
Yeah.
And those are in
the boxes downstairs when you first walk in.
Thank you.
It's on a clipboard.
And they have to read those and sign that they read them. So this is going to be very much similar to what you're familiar with, but you really need to read these forms and familiarize yourself, because this is going to really step you into having conversations and educating your clients. You want to use this form to ask questions, and then it's a stepping stone to have a conversation, because we think so much that the worst thing is for them to be pregnant, and if they're not, then we don't see them again. And sometimes if they are, we don't see them again. But we need to educate them about STIs and just mental health and all of those things. So this is a stepping stone to have those conversations. And we are going to do a role play later on that. So that'll help you with what to say and how to go about it. So the change is the first 10 questions are going to be if the client is coming in for a pregnancy test. You're going to go through those first 10, all of the questions. But if it's just a new client, you're going to just skip down to number 11 and go on. And the new questions we have added are about pornography, sexual activity, STI testing, abuse. So you just need to familiarize yourself, and really those, what were they called? Share videos?
Yeah.
From Karen.
In the Bright training, which all of you should be using, in the Bright training, you really, really need to watch the Share training with Pam Stencil, because I've watched it once, and then I went back yesterday and rewatched like 3 of them, because there's 8, but they're so helpful. And she talks a lot about risk assessment, which that is what we are here for, is to assess their risk for pregnancy, for us being able to share the gospel with them, for STIs, for post-abortion counseling, for all these things. And now we have, Darcy has revamped the form and allowed you to do this. And one of the reasons that we're going over all these forms with you again is use the forms. She's done such a good job and put all these questions in here and kind of made them open-ended for you to be able to ask these questions, to get in these conversations with you or with your clients, to help you to have these just these really good conversations with them. And I know that some of these seem like really hard questions to ask, but that's what the forms are for, okay? And that's what we're here for with the clients. And one thing that Pam talks about in these videos is you go into it, they come here for an STI test or a pregnancy test. They know that they have to answer these questions. These are medical questions. You don't have to go into this feeling all emotional. She even says it's a medical question. You don't have to go into feelings, okay? So,
and acknowledge the uncomfortable.
yes, acknowledge the uncomfortable. She says those two words in the training. So again, watch the share training. It is 8 videos, but take the time and watch the share training. You won't regret it. And I think that sometimes the enemy likes to make us feel uncomfortable so that we kind of close up and maybe don't want to bring those things up with our client. But I think it's very, very important that we do. And like Darcy just said, acknowledge the uncomfortable. Just, if you see, she talks about if you see your client closing up, just go with it. You know, just say, I know that these might seem like hard questions. Even if you're starting to feel uncomfortable, just say it. It's kind of hard for me to ask these questions too, but this is what we're here for. They know that they have to answer questions about their period, about STIs or whatever they're here for.
Also, I did want to mention that this might be the only time they hear this. A lot of times they're like, no one ever told me this. I didn't know. So using these questions and educating is going to be really key for them. And then they're going to want to come back and get an STI test. And that is just one more opportunity for us to speak truth to them and share the gospel. So just remember that this is your opportunity to share with them facts. So you need to be educated on facts about STI and mental health and abuse and all of that. So let's see, I don't think much more changed on this. You do want to refer. We have STI now on all of our forms to refer. And then this other form is called the Blink form. And this is, this goes on every folder. And this is shows the phases and the awards and the classes. And the required 3 videos they have to watch are SIDS, car seat safety, and sexual health or relational. And then these questions on the back really give you questions to ask them to just start conversations. So just familiarize yourself with all of those questions. Today we're going to role play on the green form because it is something new, and just so you guys can get a feel of how the flow needs to go.
Okay, so I'm the consultant. Darcy is the client, and here we go. Okay, so hi, I'm Crystal, and I'm going to be your consultant today, and I'm just going to have you fill out this top portion and read and sign here. You're quick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And you read our NIFLA thing? Okay.
Yep.
Can you sign that for me,
Sure.
please? Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we get into the fun questions. How'd you hear about us today?
Through a friend who's been here before.
Okay, great. And tell me about your support system, like church, Medicaid, family, food stamps, WIC.
Yeah, family.
Okay.
Good family and friends.
Okay. Are you married?
No.
Okay. And who do you live with?
My boyfriend.
Okay. And you came alone today?
Yes.
Can you tell me about your kids?
I have 3 kids.
Okay. Can you give me their names and ages?
Paige is 10.
Okay.
Jaron is 7.
Can you spell his name for me?
Jaron.
Okay, thanks.
And Willow is 2.
Okay. Can you tell me about your spiritual beliefs? Like, are you a Christian, Mormon, Hindu?
Well, I believe there's a God.
Okay. Have you ever gone to church?
Yeah, I went to church growing up, but I'm not really into that anymore.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more? What changed it for you?
I just stopped going. I used to go with my grandma, and we just stopped. So, yeah, it's just not important to me.
Okay. Okay. The really fun stuff. Can you give me the date of your last period?
It was July.
Okay, so maybe
beginning of July.
Beginning, okay.
Yeah.
So like before or after the 4th?
I would say before.
Okay. All right, so maybe July 1st?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, we're going to put July 1st-ish.
Yep.
Was it a normal period?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are your periods regular?
Yes.
Okay. And can you give me symptoms? Nausea, swollen breasts, fatigue, weight gain?
Well, I missed a period and then started feeling just nauseous. Yeah.
Okay. Missed period. Okay. Were you planning to get pregnant?
No.
Okay. And how do you feel about being pregnant if you are?
Not sure yet.
Okay. Will the father be involved?
Yeah.
You said, yeah. So not sure?
Not sure.
Okay. Okay.
It's just not real serious.
Okay. And is he your boyfriend, your partner?
He's my boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you feel safe with him?
Yeah.
Okay. You sure?
Yes.
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 Okay. 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 And does he know that you could be pregnant?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you said you were unsure about how you feel about being pregnant. Have you guys talked about what you're going to do? Like, have you considered adoption, or are you planning to parent the baby?
We don't know if we'll continue the pregnancy.
Okay, so you're considering abortion?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't want any more kids, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you considered adoption at all?
No.
Has anyone ever brought that up with you?
No.
So you haven't considered it, or you won't think about it?
If I knew more, maybe.
Okay.
I would think
Okay,
about
well,
it.
we can definitely talk about that
Okay.
today.
Okay, good.
Okay. Okay, how many pregnancies have you had? You have 3 children. Have you had any miscarriages or abortions?
Yes. One abortion.
Okay. Okay, so this is the part in the intake form where you really get into the risk assessment. And these questions right here, you really have to be very specific. And in the share video, Pam even brings up that you need to be very specific with the number of how you ask this question, because like we have post-abortion counseling here, so we want to be able to offer that to our clients. Okay, so many women, she says, won't consider an abortion as a pregnancy, so you have to bring it up specifically. Okay, so like when I just asked my client how many pregnancies she's had, she says 3. I need to specifically say, have you had any miscarriages or abortions? Okay.
They might not count those as pregnancies.
Right. Okay. And again, like we talked about in the forms video, it doesn't have to be an uncomfortable question unless you make it that way. Okay. You just have to bring it along with the pregnancy question. Okay. Okay. Back to work. Okay, so you've had an abortion. Have you received any counseling for that?
No.
Okay. Well, we do offer post-abortion counseling here if you're interested.
Okay.
We've found it very helpful and very healing for people. So,
I'll think about it.
okay. Okay, so were you on birth control?
No.
No. But you weren't hoping to get pregnant?
No.
Okay. Okay, so The birth control question is another question that we use for risk assessment. Risk assessment for STI and the birth control question. This is more education for you to give to the client, okay? Because if a client is on birth control, it makes their risk for STI higher, okay? Because then they're probably not using condoms, which makes the risk for STI higher. And for women, it changes their cervix and makes it more, what's the word?
They were just more susceptible.
Yes, it makes their cervix more susceptible for STIs, okay? So this is more education that you can give your client, okay? Are you on any drugs and alcohol?
I drink once in a while.
Okay. Any medication?
I take some depression medication.
Okay. And do you smoke or vape?
I vape.
Okay. Okay, and these questions, again, this all goes back to risk assessment, because when you add drugs and alcohol into sex, it makes their risk higher. And then how often do you view pornography?
Just once in a while with my boyfriend.
Okay. Do you remember how old you were when you had sex for the first time?
Yeah, I was freshman, so maybe 14.
Okay. Do you know how many partners you've had? Like all together?
I'd say around 8.
Okay. Okay, so have you been tested for any STIs?
No.
Okay. And do you know how many partners you've had in the last year?
Just my boyfriend.
Okay.
Just one.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to talk for a second about your risk for STIs, okay?
What's an STI? I've heard of STDs.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
A sexually transmitted infection.
Okay.
Okay. So I really think that you should be tested, and we have free testing here, so we can do that for you if you're interested.
Okay.
Okay, so like every person that you've had sex with, you've been exposed to every person that they have had sex with as well.
Really?
Yeah. Has anyone ever said that to you before?
No.
So you've said that you've maybe had sex with 4 or 8 partners.
Mm-hmm.
So if they've had sex with 8 partners, you've been exposed to all of them as well. Yeah. And the thing is, as a woman, like, you carry all the risk, okay? So sometimes it doesn't really affect the men. They can carry it. They might not even have symptoms, but you carry all the risk. It can cause cervical cancer. It can affect your fertility. I really recommend that you get tested for this.
If I have something, can it be treated? Is it something I'll always...
Some of them can be treated, okay? If it's a bacterial infection, it can be treated.
Okay.
If it's a virus, it could be something that you carry for the rest of your life.
Okay.
And you could have symptoms on and off, and then they just treat the symptoms when you have it, okay?
And can my boyfriend be tested?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he can be tested and treated,
Okay.
okay? Okay, okay, I kind of always laugh at this question, but are you under any unusual stress?
Yes.
Okay.
I have 3 kids.
Right?
I might be pregnant. Yeah.
Okay. Is this, okay. Do you have any history of rape, sexual, or physical abuse?
When I was little, I was abused.
Okay. Have you received any counseling for that?
No.
Okay. We can offer you some counseling for that as well.
That'd be nice.
Okay. Do you have to ask permission to eat, sleep, or go to the bathroom?
No.
Okay. And will the father be involved?
Possibly.
Okay. And he's your boyfriend?
Yeah.
And you feel safe in your relationship?
Yes.
Okay. And he knows that you could be pregnant?
Yes.
Okay. And you guys are still kind of undecided about
Yes.
carrying to term?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. That's the form.
That's the green intake.